Yes.
And Sarah Brown is excused. Next is Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Confirmation of appropriate meeting notice.
Meeting notices were posted last Friday at the library, post office, city hall, and the website.
Council acceptance of agenda.
Motion accept.
I'll second.
And a second to accept agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, personal appearances for non-agenda items limited to 3 minutes. It looks like we have an introduction of Lieutenant Joe Helm.
If it is truly my pleasure and honor to introduce our newest lieutenant. As the council knows, Lieutenant Meehan retired back in February after 36 plus years of serving. The city of Edgerton. And in April, we posted for a lieutenant position to replace Lieutenant Meehan. And I could explain the process more when it comes to police commission, since this is just for appearance only. And I'd like to introduce Lieutenant Falmouth, who was an officer serving on the Edgerton Police Department. Lieutenant Falmouth comes to us after several years. He's been with the department. Prior to that, he was with the Army National Guard, went through their officer candidate school, the non-traditional model of it, which I have to say is quite an accomplishment. Rose to the rank of first lieutenant, and I'm happy to present him to the council as part of my executive staff now.
As you mentioned, I'm Joe Coleman. It's an honor for me to be here as a lieutenant for the city. I'd like to introduce you to my family. This is Nastia, my wife, Clark, Lana, and the little one's William.
The newest member.
Not quite a year yet. We're very excited about this. I've got some ideas I've been talking to the chief about for changing some things around, trying to make things better, because you can always make things better. Obviously, I'm new to policing a little bit, but I do have a little bit of background in leadership and with the military. I intend to use what I know for that, as well as chief's knowledge. Of course, he's been around doing this for a while, so. But it's an honor to be here. I'm very excited for work in this capacity.
So Lieutenant Falmouth will be our administrative lieutenant, and Lieutenant Dave Knable, who is probably busy out there, will be our operational lieutenant. And Dave, as you know, comes to us with a Marine background with several deployments to Afghanistan. So he comes to us with a lot of experience. So with the two of them, we're in really good hands in the city of Edgerton. I couldn't be any happier.
So was it a little bit of did you change up your organization structure with this? You said that Joe is.
Because Lieutenant Knable took pretty much Randy's spot, who was an operational lieutenant, and our administrative lieutenant was vacant for a while. So I was handling a lot of the administrative duties.
Got it.
And so now I'm going to hand some of those off to Lieutenant Falmouth, and we'll be working together. And I told Ramona this, like the day after he was promoted, he sends me an email and said, "This is the projects I'm going to start working on." So we're in good hands. So.
Wonderful, congratulations.
And thank you to the council, and the police commission was great, and I'll explain more later on. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, minutes, consider approval of minutes from the May 16th meeting.
Motion to approve.
Motion and a second to approve the minutes. Any questions or discussions on those? All those in favor say aye. Can I do that, or do we need a roll call for the minutes? Probably should have roll.
No, you can do all of it.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
They are approved. Committee reports. Tim, finance.
Absolutely. So the Finance Committee met tonight at 6 p.m. I will make a motion to approve bills and payroll in the amount of $238,456.81.
I'll second.
Motion is second to pay bills. Any questions or discussions on those? Roll call?
Shaw,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Andy Davis,
Yes.
Paul Davis.
Yes.
Burdick,
yes,
And those pass.
We had one operator license. I make a motion to deny a operator license to Brooklyn Sayer.
And we'll pass around the information. Oh, next one, Paul, next page. Sorry, I should put next page, should put it on top.
Okay, I'm sorry, I wasn't here for the meeting. Can you give me kind of,
Well, here, I'll show you.
okay,
I mean, you can. I should put it on top. I thought. There it is, right there. And so it'll indicate, next page. What the recommendation is and why.
okay.
Do you want to say case or do you want to say? Okay, so we do have a motion to deny. We need a second.
I'll second.
Motion is second to deny. Any question or discussion?
I'm curious, when was the application put in?
You mean before or after her citation?
Yeah,
I think it was put in after, but I could be mistaken.
Well, let's take a look.
should have disclosed it then if it was.
And we were aware of it, but I don't think we.
She did disclose her citation.
I mean, I have a little experience with doing those and like, I think that's the most recent one I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's a good question.
That was a year ago, that was a year, 18 months ago. 3 weeks is kind of a tough one.
She signed the application May 14th. So, yes,
I knew about it. Feels me.
She was cited on April 3rd.
and she said, yes.
Oh, I thought it said May 11th.
Convicted.
Convicted.
She was convicted on. May.
Oh, I see.
So she disclosed it, so obviously it happened before the application.
Correct. Okay, any other question or discussion? Roll call?
Shaw,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Andy Davis,
Yes,
Paul Davis.
Yes.
Burdick,
yes,
and then I'll pass this.
I'll make a motion to approve a temporary Class B beer and wine license for Edgerton Hospital Capital Foundation Garden Party.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any question or discussion? Roll call?
Shaw,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Andy Davis,
Yes.
Paul Davis.
Yes.
Burdick,
yes.
And that is the June 24th. And
Thank
that
you.
passes.
Hope to see you there. It's the 24th.
Oh, wish we had some questions.
So we're gonna combine the next into a single motion. So I'm gonna make a motion to approve Class B combination liquor and beer license renewals for TK's Decoy Bar and Grill, Agent Tom Kulo, Two Brothers Bar and Grill, Agent Alir Benushi, Cafe on Main, Agent Alir Benushi, El Patron Mexican Grill, Agent Alejandro Ramirez, Late Night Bar and Grill, Agent Terry Nettlestead, Edge Events LLC, Agent Sarah Braun, Young Fire Pit Stop, Agent Patricia Young. The Baron LLC, Agent Alir Benushi. Lounge 1848, Agent Alir Benushi. And then Town Country Club, Agent Matthew Rivers.
Motion and a second. Any question or discussion on those renewals?
Just one thing, you said late night bar and grill, it's last night bar and grill.
Thank you.
And you're the one that has the hearing thing. Good for you. That's probably why you noticed it. The rest of us.
I probably wouldn't heard any of this. It's actually not for the members, it's actually the audience. We don't have any.
Okay, roll call.
Shaw,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Paul Davis.
Yes.
Burdick,
yes,
And those pass.
Make a motion to approve Class A combination liquor and beer license renewal. Days Family Foods, Inc., Agent Nathan Perry. 424 Game Day Liquor, Inc., Agent Chandresh Patel. Burns Full Service LLC, Agent Casey Burns. Casey's General Store, number 3731, Agent Anthony Hawks.
Motion and a second. Any question or discussion on those renewals? Roll call.
Shaw,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
yes,
And those pass.
I'll make a motion to approve Class A beer license renewal. Quick Trip, number 675, Agent Sarah Pierce. Stop and Go, number 214, Agent Alicia Imhoff.
Motion and a second to approve. Any question or discussion? Having none, roll call.
Shaw,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Paul Davis.
Yes.
Burdick,
yes,
And those pass.
I'll make a motion to approve Class B beer license renewal for Mario's Italian Restaurant, Agent Carla Zimmerman.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the renewal. Any question or discussion? Having none, roll call.
Shaw,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
yes,
And that passes.
I'll make a motion to approve a Class C wine license renewal for Campbell Boys, Agent Dusty Campbell.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? Having none, roll call.
Shaw,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
yes,
And then passes.
I'll make a motion to approve tobacco license renewals for Casey's General Store, Two Brothers Bar and Grill, Days Family Foods, Stop and Go, Quick Trip, and Burns Full Service LLC.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any question or discussion on those renewals? Having none, roll call.
Shaw,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
yes,
And those pass.
I'll make a motion to approve the private property on public sidewalk permit for Campbell Boys LLC and Ripples Resale.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any question or discussion? Having none, roll call.
Shaw,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
yes,
And those pass.
I'll make a motion to approve the sandwich board sign permits for Campbell Boys Lounge 1848, Red Baron, Two Brothers Bar and Grill, and then Ripples Resale.
Second.
Motion and a second. For those permits, any questions or discussion? Having none, roll call.
Shaw,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
yes,
And those pass.
I will make a motion to approve a 2 toilet replacement at the police department, not to exceed $1,200. They are power flush toilets to be installed by Edwardson Plumbing.
I'll second.
Motion is second. Any question or discussion on the toilets?
Please.
Yeah.
I felt like I had to clarify the power flush. That was very
They are
important.
the power flush toilets.
I'm sure you flushed out all the issues in front of you.
That's a good.
Okay, roll call on that one.
Shaw,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Candy Davis.
Yes,
Paul Davis.
Yes.
Burdick.
yes,
and that passes.
Thank you.
On behalf of the entire staff.
Especially the female staff.
I make a motion to approve the lease for 120 West Lawton Street with a 1-year term with 10 3-year extensions.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any question or discussion?
I got something here, quick question on page 21. On the second whereas, we're doing a 1-year extension, correct?
A 1-year term
1-year
with,
term?
yes,
On the page 22, the number 3, where it says notwithstanding, it says that we're doing an extension for 3 years.
yes. You're correct. 1 year is the intention. There you
Okay.
go.
Yes.
So we'll make that correction. Thank you.
That's
Even on vacation, Jen, you catch it all. Very good.
Okay, that's all I got.
Okay, so
It doesn't change my,
that's right. It's
Yep,
just
so,
changes in there. Okay. Good catch. Any other question or discussion? Roll call?
Shaw,
yes.
Paul Davis.
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes,
Langen,
Yes.
Candy Davis.
Yes. And that passes.
I'll make a motion to approve awarding the bid for the mill and overlay project in the amount of $108,739.72 to Payne and Dolan.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any question or discussion? Having none, roll call?
Shaw,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Candy Davis.
Yes.
Paul Davis.
Yes.
Burdick,
yes,
And that passes.
I'll make a motion to approve the update for the City of Edgerton Resolution 24-21C, amend 2022 salary resolution to update the lifeguard with WSI to $10.25.
second,
Motion and a second. Any question or discussion on that?
just noted at finance, at the bottom of that page, the sentence that says step increases are granted on anniversary date at the end of each year's service. I'd like to remove on anniversary date from that phrase because the policy that was adopted recently isn't on anniversary, it's on the full years of service. So for part-time employees, that isn't an anniversary date, it becomes the date in which they reach a year's worth of service. So I think we'll probably have a request to readdress that at personnel at some point, but at this point, the policy is, it would read, step increases are granted at the end of each year's service.
Oh, sure. Would that be for, just for the lifeguard wage or for all?
Oh,
So it would read, step increases are granted on each-
granted at the end of each year's service, so we're moving on anniversary date from that sentence.
your service, okay?
So would it be easiest for me to amend my approval, or how do we go about that?
If you're willing and the second is willing,
I would like to update my approval motion to include that it reword to say step increase are granted at the end of each year's service, removing on anniversary date.
Good with the second.
Okay. Motion is second on that amended motion. Any other question or discussion? Having none, roll call.
Shaw,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Candy Davis,
Yes.
Paul Davis.
Yes.
That is all from finance.
Thank you, Tim. Public Works. Update from Public Works. Jim?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Public Works met on May 23rd. The big topic of discussion was a sidewalk utility. And what we came up with was, after a lot of discussion, that we directed staff to further investigate and report back with its findings to see if Public Works wants to decide on a recommendation to go to council, forward with council. There's a lot of good data that they showed, and they're gonna get some more for us. So that's some topic, big one. Discuss yard waste up at the post compost site, and Howard's gonna take direction on that and keep some of that for the residents and then have the rest of it shipped out. He'll take the lead, like I said, and see how much to keep and what gets used and what not. We'll do a year by year basis. But there's a company that'll grind it and haul it for nothing, so we're gonna go that way. Street maintenance projects, you guys already covered in that, and I think that's all Public Works had. Anything else, Casey, you can think of?
He said no. Thanks, Jim.
Okay, yep.
Parks Committee. Kirsty?
Yeah, Parks Committee met May 23rd. We elected Candy Davis the chair again. We welcomed a new member, Kyle Furseth. He lives on Randolph Street, and he's the president of Tobacco Days. He replaces the retiring Russ Jorstead, who served on the committee for quite a while. We discussed all things Racetrack Park, it seemed, for a while. We discussed safety improvements, i.e. the netting at the center of the ball diamonds at Racetrack Park. We talked about the need for perhaps signage to reinforce the dog policies of not having dogs at Racetrack Park. There was a representative here from Edgerton Youth Baseball who was asking about getting approval to site a new batting cage at Racetrack Park, and there were two areas that they suggested, so we talked about that. We didn't give approval on either site, but they were comfortable with our decision, or with our discussion that they would go forward with fundraising for that batting cage. And then there were three agenda items that all kind of merged into a big discussion. The big umbrella issue here is the need for updating the 2008 to 2013 comprehensive outdoor recreation plan. Because it's out of date, we're not eligible for some DNR funding grants that we might otherwise be able to apply for. So that alone speaks to the need for updating our plans. We also talked about things like parking at Racetrack Park, which underlines the need that maybe some of these plans are out of date and that there's more usage at parks and more plans for, there's more wants and needs for more fields and parking. And concurrently with that, as negotiations continue with developers in the area near Lad Lane and expanding that water retention area and park, all of this kind of speaks to the need for updating that comprehensive plan for parks. So it was the lengthiest parks meeting I've ever been part of, and I felt bad for the new member, like, meetings are short, don't worry about it. About parking, and it was great though. He enjoyed it. So anyway, that's our update on parks.
Wonderful. Yeah, it was.
Oh, I left out and maybe we want to add the contracting for the plan services. So we had a discussion about working with firms that we're comfortable with.
Right, we have two firms that we currently work with. The city engineer has a planning division that does comprehensive plans for parks, as well as Vanderwall, who's been our planner for years. So the committee directed staff to put together a proposal, to seek proposals from them. So we will be putting together a request and then getting those proposals in for the Parks Committee to consider, so we can select a consultant.
Very good, Casey, thank you. Police Commission.
Police Commission met on May 24th for the purpose of promoting an officer to lieutenant. The process entailed posting internally for that position on April 11th for 2 weeks. Interviews were the week of the 16th. Lieutenant Knable and I reviewed the documents that were provided to us by the two officers. We presented our findings to the commission on the 24th, and they agreed, as we saw today, with our decision of promoting Lieutenant Fellman. We also, Officer Brandon Swinbank has successfully completed his 1-year probation. So on June 1st, so he is no longer probationary agent. And Officer Hannah Ryder has successfully completed her training program, is now on midnights. Doing very, very well. So we're doing pretty good over there.
So you're fully staffed.
We are fully staffed.
Wonderful. Great. Plan Commission.
Planning Commission met May 25th, had a couple public hearings. One for IKI regarding fencing around at IKI Drive. There's also a public hearing for Dairyland Drive, which is the planned development of Illyria Benucci with the 42-unit apartment complex. We're making some headway. There's a few stalls with this project. Sometimes there wasn't always anything we could do. I think we did quite a bit of headway. We had a good meeting on that day. And then discussion of the subdivision ordinance amendments. So those were the three main things we did that night.
Well, Fire District, Chief Pickering. Give us the good news.
Yeah. We're busy. You have a copy of what is referred to as the June report, but it's obviously activity through the end of May. 100, I'll jump down to the 911 incidents first. 104 incidents during the month. So the average is about 93. So you can kind of tell June was busy, and I think reflects what we're probably going to see throughout the course of the summer. Chief Kowalski's officers and my staff have spent a tremendous amount of time together recently. The distribution of the calls is pretty normal. There's nothing out of the way or out of kind of outside of the averages there. I'll go back up to interfacility transfers. I believe the council is aware of some of the staffing issues we've been wrestling with. What we have been doing is taking our transfer personnel and moving them over to make sure that 911 ambulance is staffed. So you can kind of see that where that hurts you on the back end is we're obviously having to turn down quite a significant number of transfer requests because we just don't have the extra staff to be able to do it. On the far right-hand side, the call volumes by day, we're back to 6, 7, 8 call a day kind of incidents that are occurring. The most interesting one, and I just want to point out because it kind of connects a few dots together for you. The transfer crew, when we have it, not only is that to be able to do transfers, but it gives us a second EMS crew if there are simultaneous calls within the district. During the course of May, there were 8 times where we had simultaneous calls going. 100% of those 8 were covered by the second ambulance being available. So there's a real tie-in to the strategy of what that transfer crew can do for us. Year to date, which is not reflected on here, there have been 42 incidents year to date that have been simultaneous incidents. The most recent one was Sunday. We had 3 going at once. Of those 42 that have happened so far this year, 35 of them have been covered by EFPD units. So there's a tremendous value in terms of customer service to our citizens, in addition to the transfer issue. So just kind of tying a couple of dots together for you. You can see the breakout by municipalities. You go down, it's pretty average. Edgerton has been about 52% of total volume, I think, since I first started tracking data 6-7 years ago, pretty consistent. And the thing that we are obviously most proud of is Edgerton, obviously, because of our location, we are hitting that 5-minute on-scene benchmark. I mean, it's close to 100% as we can hit it. I think the number is actually 99%. So very positive there. Inspections, again, we're not getting to the inspection. We expect to be at 100% of all of our first half of the year inspections by the end of May, so that we can clean up anything in June. We're not there. We're at 43%, and that's again a reflection of just staff having to take care of calls. But we'll figure out how to make those up. Ramona and I had a conversation, just kind of a heads up. There is an inspection issue inside the city of Edgerton, city limits. We're going to work on that, and if need be, we'll have to get the council involved, but we're working on those kinds of things cooperatively together amongst all of us. Staffing, that's the big story. You can see the numbers. You can go down to the bottom. We lost 2 more paramedics last week that have accepted other job offers in other municipalities. And as I shared with Candy early on tonight, we lost a 3rd today. So it's an issue that, again, you're well aware of what we're trying to do to address it, and I sincerely appreciate the council's efforts. I know you're going to have a special meeting to talk about it. I just can't underscore how critical that meeting is going to be for us. Budget wise, this is kind of the danger of being early in the month. That's why it's labeled preliminary. We do not have from the billing company our May revenue statements yet. So what you're seeing in the 2022 year to date is the April summary. I did happen to notice something in our program is wrong, because it's taking a over budget or a shortage and making it green. So that needs to get corrected. But we're, again, we're not too terribly concerned about that. We're holding our own financially. Debt service, nothing big there. The replacement ambulance, we did get notified that they have finally got a chassis. You remember we placed that order about 11 months ago. They finally got a chassis, and the replacement vehicle will probably go online here in the next month or so. So moving along there. We had a great national EMS week. A young lady by the name of Sabrina Termino, who's one of our EMTs, and she took this on and just had a blast with it. We were in the retirement facilities. We had a blood drive. We were in schools. We did some things for our own staff to just celebrate, and really had a good time. So a lot of credit goes to Sabrina and everything she did there. Ramona and I have our follow-up meeting coming up with the Department of Revenue tomorrow afternoon. We've asked them to look at, which is kind of the polite way of saying, help us with a CPI +2 issue. And that's obviously very important to the city. And so we have a follow-up meeting there. In regards to the discussions with the petitioning communities, Attorney Morgan has been working with us on that. We are working very hard to try to get a conceptual 10 municipality IGA And so just basically, there's nothing new about it. We started with the existing IGA, right? Because the whole idea was, this is just who we are. But there's a lot of words in there that have to get addressed if you get, to add additional municipalities in. So Bill and I have been working on that. The plan is to hopefully get a draft of that for confidential review by the board, either this week or next week. Then if our board is comfortable with it, then we would get it out to all of the municipalities so that your legal counsels, your job's gonna be real easy, right? Because your legal counsel already knows, right? But, we'll get it out to everybody and then try to address anything that we may have missed amongst all the municipalities. So other than it's just a slow process, it's moving along, we think pretty good. Stuff breaks, stuff gets fixed. You can see the list there. And then we had a very successful, the district board holds a employee appreciation dinner every year. It's always been a lot of fun. That was during May and very well attended, and everybody had a good time. So just, that's the school.
Good. I'll tag on to that. We have our monthly district board meeting this Thursday, the 9th. And then a reminder to the council, we have a meeting scheduled with just the council to go through some of the salary disparity issues. And I believe Wendy sent out information to each of you. So this will be special council meeting with just that on the agenda. Again, I want to reiterate, it has nothing to do with the IGA or the possible, the discussions with the other towns and municipalities. It's only about the salary disparity we have within the fire district. I would encourage everyone to read the attachment Wendy sent. And Councilwoman Burdick and I will be prepared to answer any questions, hopefully, that each of you have. Jim and I will be meeting with Chief again Thursday afternoon to be super prepared for our meeting on Monday. And if for whatever reason you can't make it, Tim said he can't make it, but he's going to get in touch with me and talk to me and give me any of his questions he might have beforehand. So that's it for fire district. Thank you guys for your patience on that. Number 8, consider city hall office hours. Ramona.
Page 7 of your packet. Going on to page 8 is a review of what the current hours are of City Hall, and there's some data we've collected regarding other municipalities, their hours, and the amount of service we have in the late day hours, which are very sparse. So right now, the closure over the lunch hour is, we did that because we reduced staff to where it was hard to cover lunches with an hour lunch. So our suggestion is we go to a half an hour lunch, and then we can stagger, not close over the lunch hour, and shift the hours 7:30 to 4. So it's actually, we're providing more hours of service to the public, just in a different form. So I guess we're looking for your thoughts on that before we were to make any modifications.
As someone who didn't realize it before that you guys would close over the lunch hour, I like it a lot that you're opening up over it.
You're not-
Before I was on here, I come up here and
Yeah.
realize it was locked, so I think it's good to be open during that time.
We have a lot of deliveries, it seems like, because I hear a lot of times on lunch hour and UPS, and they're, they come up and they're like, I'm on a schedule and you're not open.
It does seem to be a little out of step with today's
Yeah.
thing to actually be closed for lunch.
Yeah.
Most businesses. There's something that was from way in the past. You'd be surprised it would be happening. So I think it's good.
Well, when I look at these hours too, I think you gotta remember, okay, on Mondays, you're open till 6. Oh, but on Thursdays, you're only open till 5. Oh, and Friday, you're open to 4. It's like, it's not easy to remember which days are closing, right? I mean, it'd be nice if there was some consistency there. One of the things when Ramona and I had talked about this from a personnel committee perspective. I asked her to kind of put together, you can see this count of this customer count. That'd be interesting to see how many people really walk in during those times. I mean, this was like. So thank you for putting that information together too. One question I have from, so this makes sense from a consumer or for people walking in, it's gonna be more readily available to them. What about staff? How do they feel about? Because their hours, this would change them and their hours and their schedule.
Right, they support the change. We'll have to work around some people's schedules. For the part-time employees, we can probably do that more easily than obviously the full-time employees will be here during those hours. So we've all talked about it and they're supportive of the change.
So you need a motion to approve? I'll make a motion to approve the suggested or the presented office hours of the city.
I'll second.
You want to have an effective date on that or leave that open as to what you think you guys can work out from the office perspective?
We were planning next week. The only
you go.
other threshold would be after the next newsletter. But I'm not sure. It's, if the council has a strong opinion, we could do whatever you'd like, but
It shouldn't be, we'll update the website, update on these, so I don't think.
Well, what the amount of walk-ins you have. So.
So would you like by June 13th? I will amend my motion to include that will take effect on June 13th.
everyone's comfortable with that.
Yes.
I didn't quite catch, what were the hours that he went with? The
7:30 to 4, Monday through Friday, open over the lunch hour.
Okay, because I saw two proposals there, 8 to 4:30 was on there also. On the chart.
Oh, on the chart, I think on the chart, there were a couple options, but then I think.
I didn't hear which way Tim went when he said it, so.
Okay,
So you good?
okay. Any other question or discussion on that?
Is this permanent? This a trial and error, or is this, or what we doing? We get a slew of complaints. We gonna look at it again? Or how we doing this?
We would always look at it and,
I see at least one guy that might complain according to the survey, so.
Maybe that one person, we don't know if it's a guy, do we? Just kidding. Maybe.
Well, I
that-
might be the next guy. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, maybe the one, that person will, we can train that person to.
Yeah.
Maybe rethink the law.
Well, it's permanent until it's not, I mean.
right, it's like.
At
it
one
is now.
point, the money different was permanent, now it's not, so it's, yeah, we'll keep it until we find out it's not the best anymore.
Good, then just give us an update as time goes on, what's going, how's that
We'll do
sound?
that.
Okay, any other question or discussion on that? Roll call, please.
Shaw,
Yes.
Lane,
Yes.
Candy Davis.
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes,
Great, that passes. Okay, number 10. Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, I don't want to do it. I'm sorry, I go from 8 to 10. Number 9, mayor and alderperson and staff reports. I just have 2 quick embarrassing things, one for 2 people. Happy birthday to Chief Kowalski on Saturday and happy birthday to Paul Davis on Saturday.
It's my twin.
Yeah.
separated for-
Any,
You didn't disclose that in the interviews.
anybody else have any updates? Okay. Please, can we go to number 10? Sure.
I will move that we go into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute 19.851 deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. Discuss and consider cell tower land lease.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Langen,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Paul Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
and Davis.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you guys.